Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Tanek127 and welcome back to Tanek FPS. And guys, in today's video, I'm going to be giving you some of my best settings recommendations for Black Ops 7 on console. Now, we're specifically playing here on PlayStation 5, and before we get into today's video, I do want to give a special thank you and shout out to Activision for hooking me up with a review key for Black Ops 7. But anyway, let's go and give you guys just, a few setting recommendations and stuff like that. And before we get into it, speaking of settings, one honest thing I do recommend doing whenever you come in here into the shooting range is go to your target settings first off and always put it on 3 plates when you're shooting your targets. The reason for that is simple because, yes, 3 plates isn't exactly an accurate representation of how much health they have in multiplayer, but aiming at a target with 3 plates and a lot of health, that'll help you keep your shots more steady. That helps you keep control of a target longer. So, the target has more health. So, you can work on keeping your aim straighter with certain guns. Just a little, tip and trick I thought I'd throw out there. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on into our settings recommendation. So, first and foremost, we'll start in the quick settings section. There's nothing really special to do here. I do recommend, doing a lot of advanced settings for all your stuff, but if you want to know the stick sensitivity I use is 1.40 vertical and horizontal. My FOV, I keep it around 100. Some people like to max it out. I do know consoles have their limitations, so I don't like bumping mine all the way up. I usually hang out between 100 and 110. Game volume, have that lowered because I'm recording a video. But anyway, let's go ahead and pop over into controller and get to some of the good stuff. A couple things I'm going to recommend you do, especially when it comes to Black Ops 7, because this game is a lot about movement. Corner slicing, I would turn that off. Crouch assist, I turn that off as well. Mantle assist, I turn those on. So that way, whenever you're coming up to a wall or something that you can easily jump over, all you have to do is jump. The game will do the mantling part for you. You don't have to do anything to activate the mantle. Wall jump assist and combat roll assist, I have those off. I'm not too worried about those. A lot of these apply more to the 20v20 mode. The combat roll camera, I would definitely keep that in third person because you want to have more control of your roll, and me personally, I find that easier in third person. If that's something you want to do in first person, go ahead and try it out, feel it out. Let me know how you like it. But that's that me personally, I would just recommend keeping that in third person. Combat settings, all of these, to each their own. Armor plates and stuff like that. Those are things completely up to you. Graphics, one thing I'm always going to recommend, 120 hertz refresh rate. So, playing 120 FPS is always better. Eco mode preset, I personally turn that off so you can get the most out of your console. Motion blurs, turn all of them off and turn depth of field off. Depth of field, it blurs things in the background to keep that focus. You want to be able to see everything around you 100%. Turn depth of field off. Fidelity effects cast, turn that on, and I turn that all the way up. I've literally been doing that since Modern Warfare 2. That's when I started seeing the fidelity effects. It always, gets a clearer, crisp, better looking picture when you have this all the way up. Customize your crosshair. Now, this is something I've stressed to people in a lot of other shooter games. Finally, COD lets us customize our crosshair on console in a COD game. Finally. Always make your crosshair a color that stands out to you, or that's something like your favorite color. Because, and I say this in every video, it is scientifically proven that our eyes naturally gravitate towards things we are attracted to. Like your favorite color, pretty girl, or hot guy, whether you're male or female, whatever. If you see a car that's your favorite color riding down the street, you're naturally, going to, your brain's just going to naturally gravitate your eyes toward. Same thing with your crosshair. I kid you not. Use a crosshair that's, really stand out or something like that's your favorite color. Watch your accuracy increase. I challenge y'all to do that. Seriously, do it. Come back to this video in a week and let me know in the comments. Alright, so for controller settings, you want to come over here in the aiming advanced settings. Now, me personally, I like the response curve type of dynamic. That's one thing, I've I always enjoy using for COD. It feels good to me. But to each their own. For the ADS sensitivity transitioning, I kept it on gradual, and that feels fine to me. If you want to, go ahead and use instant. I wouldn't. After zoom, I really wouldn't do that because the sensitivity multiplier is applied only when you're fully zoomed in, especially, if you're quick scoping, you probably want it going, before you're fully zoomed. You're fully zoomed in. If it was Battlefield or, some other shooter, I would say after zoom, but it's COD. Here's all of my sensitivity multipliers. I did not change these much. Like I said, I'm using a 1.40 in sensitivity. And last but not least, we're going to go ahead over here to audio. And last but not least for audio, there's just a few audio mixes that I personally like to use. Now, I'm playing on a monitor with surround sound speakers, or I'm using an Astro A40 or A50 headset. These are the three that I personally prefer: Treyarch Mix, Headphone Bass Boost, or Sucker Punch. I have gotten the best results with footsteps and, sound direction and stuff like that out of all three of these. It may be different for you because of your sound setup, but from what I've seen with using, most headsets and surround sound in Treyarch games, it's these three: Sucker Punch, Headphone Bass Boost, or Treyarch Mix that usually, perform top tier for me. But if you guys have any other recommendations for that, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up for my recommended settings guide. If you got other settings you want to recommend to your fellow players, leave them down in the comments. Y'all enjoyed today's video, smash that like. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.